All right, with the change to MSA packs, we've also made the change to our MSA rip bags. It's going to be found in this True North bag. You got two sides. The bar is going to represent high pressure side. The ball is for your low pressure side. So simple to complex, we want to go with, when possible, we'll go with the high pressure side to begin with. Identical to the UAC connection of previous generations. So it's what? It's just a transfill. It's one direction. It will not, if your rip bottle is a lower pressure than the pack you're plugging it into, no air is going to exchange. It's unidirectional, but it is worth noting that unlike our previous rip bags, there is a way to transfill the rip bag itself. So if we are deep into an operation and we need to fill the bottle that's being utilized for a downed firefighter, we have the option of adding air to the pack that's being utilized. All right. We have 1 hour bottles. You'll find that the bottles are anchored.
One of you guys got 30 minutes.
No, it's we got a new one. So the bottle itself is going to be anchored inside the pack so that it lives on one side and doesn't encroach on our low pressure mask and regulator. That will be anchored when we're refilling outside, that kind of thing. As stated, bar represents high pressure. Now we're over to the low pressure side. Low pressure, you'll find that the mask and regulator are married together. They're not connected to the low pressure line. The reason for that is what we want you to do is, prior to going inside the structure as part of the RIT team, you're going to want to turn this bottle on so that you're not searching for the valve when you're inside. So you'll go ahead and you'll just turn your bottle on. Prior to making entry, you want this bottle on. And you'll find a remote pressure gauge. It looks like mine was already on. So remote pressure gauge shows us what the pressure is. Reason why these aren't pre-connected is, just like our current SCBAs, there's a bump valve located inside of this mask. So if this mask is on and this is all connected and the bottle's on, if you bump this, it's going to be free flowing in here. So to avoid that, this connection is not made in advance. This swivel also will have a tendency to have the potential to hit your purge valve. So just something to be mindful of. So 3 different air deliveries, simple to complex. We're going high pressure UAC. Second one will be your regulator exchange. So this connection will have to be made when you determine that that's the style that you're going to want to use. And essentially, once this is charged, remember, there's no twisting involved anymore. Now it's just squeeze top and bottom, pull straight off, and deliver the mass-mounted regulator from the rip bag. So that's option 2 there. And then option 3 is going to be the full Monty, utilizing a mask exchange. Do remember, the mask exchange runs smoothest with a 2-person operation. The other methods, single person, is completely appropriate for air delivery. For the 2-person operation, one person is going to want to drop down. One person will be at the head. So he's sitting in my lap here. I'm going to be holding his mask to his face. This is assuming he still has air and he's still breathing, but we need to change the system over to our system. Another example of utilizing this is Albany Brothers have Scott masks. This is all MSA. So if we need to get them air, UAC and then mask exchange are the only two options. So we're holding the mask pressure to hold the seal here. Meanwhile, we're loosening the straps on his SCBA mask, pulling the shroud over the top. That second firefighter is going, if you can bring that bag over. Yep, please.
From the government, I'm here to help.
All right. So you'll be holding this. We'll coordinate. We're gonna want to turn that purge on so that it's limiting the amount of IDLH atmosphere that's in this space prior to inserting it on their mask, on their face. So we're gonna coordinate. 1, 2, 3. You're gonna be searching. One second. Your landmark is the chin. Try to match this chin cup to his chin and then roll it on. So 1, 2, 3. Now play.
Bro, do it and boom.
All right. And once again, on here, we've got a bump valve. So if he's not breathing, we're going to want to do that bump valve to open the yes. So we're going to pop the shroud over, pull down low. We've got these rings to be utilized with a structured glove. We've got good seal, and I'm going to pull hood back up. I'm recommending, unless you have active things falling down, getting a helmet back on takes time, and it will tend to fall off. If you don't do it just right, it's going to tend to fall off anyways while extricating the person. There might be a time where it's completely appropriate to take the time to put that helmet on, but in general, we're going to omit putting the helmet back on after doing that mask exchange. So, for review, on the bar side is our high pressure side. On the ball side is our low pressure side. Simple to complex. We're going to have to we're going to go inside with the bottle on. The low pressure regulator not connected. So upon determining that you need the low pressure stuff, you want to make this connection. We're going to do our regulator swap, would be our second choice. Third choice would be a full mask exchange, which would be utilized if they're running something other than an MSA product, or if they have damage to their mask. It's displaced, missing, or damaged. Anybody have any questions? From here, what we're going to do is we're going to,
Are we just going to not really pay attention to the Scott ones? We also talked about switching the regulator itself out, like a low pressure line
Yeah,
connection.
you can't do that with the new MSAs. This is all one unit, so you want to be able to disconnect the heads-up display and then just switching it over. You're just doing regulator MMR, or you're doing mask. So from 5 to 3 is pretty much what we've changed.
Other things we have, just a quick reminder that are different with the MSAs. We have 2 UAC connections. One, when you're wearing it, will be on your right hip. Depends on how low you're wearing your SCBA. It's either going to be on your right hip or right ribs. And the other one's going to be on the left side within 3 inches of the high pressure coupling, irregardless of manufacturer. If you identify the coupling side within 3 inches is going to be a UAC connection. So if we're,
That's standard across the whole.
yeah. And as far as people coming into our city, Oakland's running MSAs. County's running MSAs. Albany is running Scott's. Just a quick reminder to set yourself up for success. Thumb in line with your UAC line. Thumb in line. When this is being worn, it's harder but thumb in line here. Stick your thumbs together, and in the dark, it's just a guide to get this together. It's just pressure to get these connected, and then to get them unconnected, we have to pull the collar back, and they'll separate.
Is there a preference about which one to use, or
No,
It's just based on
it's-
location of the down firefighter. So if it's
in
on
terms of
me,
dragging them out? and all
Yeah.
that stuff?
so if you find somebody laying down, your options are either here or here, depending on how you want to orient their arm. But if they're laying down like this, your only access is going to be this one. But if they're laying down on this side, you have the opportunity to hit this up.
Quick reminder, we're going to want to bump fill. Once they equalize, we want to disconnect them. This high pressure line, if there was a rupture in this line, by the time it will take for you to disconnect this, you're going to lose a lot of air. Just a quick reminder, that's how quick air is coming out. So conversely, with having this type of problem, this problem's much bigger. So we're going to want to fill, then disconnect, and recap this, and then reutilize it if we need it again at a later point.
Empty bottle, about how long is it?
30 to 45 seconds.
Oh, that fast?
Yes. Yeah. Got these, that. All right, at this point, we're gonna have you go hands-on. We'll go no gloves, practicing our UAC connection, our regulator exchange, and our mask exchange. Then we'll revisit SCBA conversions utilizing the new MSAs, which with the buckle through the leg. So we'll revisit that. Then we'll bump inside and do 2 drills each. It'll be working as crews. Talking about RIC assignments, we're going to have, with the assumption of 3 people, we have somebody that's in charge of air. Got somebody in charge of the rope bag, and then the officer is either going to split the irons or carry the irons and utilize a tick and direct crews. We'll make our way in utilizing that rope bag behind us so that crews once we've located a down firefighter, there's a highway to identify where we're going to crews that need to come in. We utilize the PAC CAN acronym. The PAC is for the air person. They're going to turn off the pass of the down firefighter. That de-escalates what's going on, increases communication amongst ourselves. They're going to assess their air situation. They're going to assess UAC, is that or do they have air? Do they need any air at all? Do they just need a bump? Do they need a regulator exchange? Do they need a mask exchange? They need a mask exchange. They're going to get that navigation person to join them in that mask change. So that's the PAC. CAN is for the officer. The officer is going to give the CAN report outside, and that's giving conditions. The C on the PAC is the condition of the down firefighter. Do they have a broken leg? Do they have, what's going on with them? Do they just have low air? Are they disoriented? What's their condition? So that information that's gathered is passed off to the officer, who now is getting on the radio. Preferably without that pass alarm going off in the background. We're increasing communication by not having a pass alarm going off in the background. The officer is going to give condition of the room that the down firefighter was located, the location of that room, what actions they're performing, what the air of the down firefighter, air situation of the down firefighter is, and what additional resources they need. Is that going to be just more crews to help out? Is it going to be extrication equipment that is beyond what we're normally just carrying in on our own? Those needs are going to be communicated outside. The officer's job is then to secure that rope away from where the down fire, in the general area, but away from the down firefighter, so we don't have a spaghetti mess. We're going to tie it off to something solid so that when we're going out, it's a solid line that we can follow in both directions. In the event that getting that firefighter package isn't done just by that first crew, we want a quick reminder that we want to relocate that down firefighter on top, pull them over on top of that search rope that is set up to be out of the way. When we're leaving a down firefighter, we want to reactivate their pass. We want to move them physically right on top of that rope, just setting up any crews, subsequent crews that are coming inside, a surefire way of, if you follow this rope, you're going to find the down firefighter. And the final thing that the officer is going to want to do is search the general area to see if there's a second means of egress that might be more effective at extricating this firefighter, or if we're going to follow the way we came in. All right, so break into your crews. Let's go hands-on, gloves off, UAC, mask or regulator exchange, and full mask exchange.
Show you guys.